Hi guys, this is the second video for your last folio for your Year 12 Essentials course. This part we're going to have a look at part 2 of the folio, which is actually taking out a loan to pay for that holiday that we looked at in part 1, alright? If you haven't watched the first video yet, go back and watch the first video and then watch this one. It'll make a lot more sense, I promise, alright? So, part 2, as I mentioned, involves you guys taking out a loan to pay for this holiday rather than saving up for it over that 4-year period. So the amount of compounding periods and the time that you are going to pay this loan off compared to your saving up remains the same. So we're still going to have our N of 104 and our payments per year and compoundings per year at 26 because we're having this interest rate compound fortnightly. All right, you can do it, remember, you can do it weekly or monthly, but you need to do it the same in part 1 as you've done in part 2. So I did fortnightly in part 1, so I'm going to do fortnightly in part 2. So our interest rate needs to change because we're borrowing money. Banks will charge you a higher interest rate than they will when you're actually trying to save money. That's how they make their profit. So we're going to choose an interest rate of, we're going to do 8.3%, let's say. All right, that's around about sort of what you'd get for a personal loan of this magnitude. Our present value, so we've been loaned $20,000. All right, now that doesn't have to go in as a negative, that can just go in as a positive because it's the bank's money that they have given us. All right, our payment we don't know yet, but our future value we want to be 0, so that can stay 0. 0 represents us paying off the loan. We get back to 0. So at the moment, our present value is $20,000 because we owe $20,000. Our future value is 0 because we are going to pay off this loan at the end of our 4-year period. All right. Now, the first dot point here asks us to calculate our minimum periodic payment. So this is the minimum amount that I have to pay every fortnight that will allow me to pay off this loan in 4 years. Okay, so we are going to simply click on our PMT and solve for payment. Okay, so we need to pay $226.30. Remember, we always round up to actually pay this loan off in that 4-year period. Okay, so as you can see, that's quite a bit of money. All right, we're paying more than we would have to save per fortnight, and that's basically because the bank is charging us a higher interest rate, right? And we're being charged interest on that amount as well. So what the question then asks us, this second dot point here, is how much the loan will cost you in total and how much interest you have paid. So to figure out how much the loan will cost you in total, what we do is take our $226.30 that we're paying per fortnight and multiply that by how many fortnights are actually in our loan period, which we know is 104. Okay, so if we just go back to, so 226.3, if we go to the calculator, so let's do 226.3 times by our compounding periods, which was 104. All right. So in total, over the whole period of our 4-year loan, we have paid $23,534.20. Okay, obviously that's more than our $20,000 that we were loaned initially. So the difference between this value and our initial loan amount of $20,000 is the amount of interest you have paid. Okay, so that's how much interest the bank has charged you on top of your loan amount. So that's profit for them. The next part is actually to investigate some strategies to minimize the interest you pay. So you can do this a few ways, and these are 3 dot points that you will need to investigate at least. A reminder that the stuff I'm showing you is what you need to show me and know how to do to get around that sort of C grade, okay? So I'll go through these one by one. I'm not going to go into a super amount of detail, but I'll just show you on the finance app or TVM solver on some people's calculator what you actually need to do for that. All right. So this is what we've got. If we are investigating the effect that making more frequent payments might have, all we do there is we change our payment periods from fortnightly to weekly, or if you've done monthly initially, you can investigate both. You can investigate fortnightly, you can investigate weekly. So I'm just going to have a look at if how much it would change if I was going to do it pay weekly instead of fortnightly. So it's going to be 52 times by 4. Okay. Obviously, the end value is going to go up because we're making more frequent payments. Remember that you need to change your PY and CY values. These will update automatically to match up, so you don't need to worry about that. But people do sort of forget to change those when they're changing their end value up here. And you won't get an accurate figure if you don't change those, so just make sure you do that. Our interest rate stays the same, our present value stays the same. What we need to do then is resolve for our payment. Okay, so if we resolve for our payment, it shows us that weekly we're going to have to pay the bank $113.08. All right, $113.08, and I'll just go back. All right, so 208 payment periods multiplied by $113.08. All right, so 213.8 multiplied by it was 52 times by 4. All right, I just did it the long way. All right, so what we've got there, oh, actually it was 113, wasn't it? Hold on. So 113.8 times by 52 times by 4. Apologies about that. Okay, so if we make, no, I've done that wrong again. It was 113.08 times by 52 times by 4. That's a lesson in writing your working out down. Okay, so what we can see there, 23,520. All right, so this was our figure before when we were paying fortnightly. All right, 23,535 if we were making fortnightly payments. This here is our figure if we were paying weekly. So all we've done is make more frequent payments. We've paid weekly instead of fortnightly. And we've actually saved, not very much, we've saved $15 of interest over the course of that loan. All right, so not a massive saving, but for something as simple as paying weekly instead of fortnightly, it's probably worthwhile doing. Okay, so it's a good little interest saving strategy. Now, these next two are a little bit more complicated and involve a little bit more maths, but still relatively simple. You guys should definitely be able to do this, okay? So let's say that we're going to go back and do our original end value. So we're going to do 26 times by 4. All right. And our interest rate stays the same, present value stays the same. Our payment, we're going to just leave that for now. We'll change this. And then, so we're going to recalculate for our fortnightly payment, just so we've got that right, 226.3, good. So if we go exit, so let's just say, instead of paying $226, let's say we pay $250. So an extra, what's that, $24, $23 and a bit. All right, so negative 250. So all we've done here is just change the amount that we're paying per fortnight. So we're paying more money than the bank said is our minimum amount. And we're going to see what effect that actually has on the loan. So we're paying $250 instead of the $226. Now, what we will do here to investigate the effect that has on our loan is solve for our end value, because our end value tells us how much time or how many periods that our loan is going to take. So if we solve for that, all right, we see there, we'll round up, we'll go to 93 with our payment period. So let's say it's going to be 93, all right, 93 fortnights, okay? So now to work out how much interest we're paying or how much we're actually paying off the loan in total, we do 93 multiplied by 250. All right, so let's go back to the menu. We'll go back here. So we'll do 93 times by 250. Okay. All right. So again, it's not a massive saving. All right, and that's because we're not dealing with a massive amount of money. It's not like we're dealing with a home loan where this is we're dealing with hundreds and thousands of dollars. We're dealing with a smaller kind of personal loan, but you can see that it's still saved $270. Okay, so this was our figure if we just paid weekly instead of fortnightly. All right, so we'd pay $23,520.64 in total over that whole loan period. With this one, all we've done is paid an extra sort of $26 off per fortnight, and we've actually saved ourselves quite a lot of money. All right, so we've saved ourselves $270. And this is what you're doing in this section. You're investigating ways to minimize this total amount that you've actually paid off. So remember, to get the amount of interest paid on a particular loan, you take this number here, so your payment periods multiplied by the amount you're paying per payment period, and you take away your original loan amount from that number. So 23,250, take away 20,000, would leave us with 3,250. So that is the amount of interest that is paid if we were going to pay $250 a fortnight. All right. The last dot point in there is a combination of both. All right. And if you need me to go through that, I'll go through that in class. But it is effectively just changing our N value. So it'd be, if we go back in here, we change our N value to weekly, like we were going to do before, and our payments per year to weekly, like we are going to do before, and leave our payments at 250 or 260. You guys can experiment with some different values. You can discuss the realism of paying different amounts. So what are some pros of paying more per fortnight? What are some negatives that you could think of? Anything like that, okay? If you need any more help, please come and see me. Hopefully this helps you guys get started. And yeah, best of luck.